Why do financial criminals confess their crimes? Imagine being caught in a web of lies and illegal activity. Why would someone admit to something that could land them in serious trouble? Well, there are many reasons behind why financial criminals choose to confess their crimes. First, guilt and remorse often play a big role. When someone commits a financial crime like embezzlement or fraud, they might feel overwhelmed by the weight of their actions. The internal conflict can become too much to handle, leading them to confess in hopes of easing their conscience. Sometimes, they just want to stop carrying the burden of guilt. External pressures are also very influential. During police interviews, investigators use different tactics to encourage confessions. Gentle questioning that respects the suspect's dignity can make someone more willing to admit guilt. But if the police use aggressive methods like intimidation or psychological pressure, it can break down a person's resistance. This might cause false confessions or admissions driven by fear. In cases involving complex financial crimes, suspects might confess when they realize the evidence against them is overwhelming. If investigators have proof like bank records, transaction logs, or witness statements, the suspect might see no point in denying it. They may confess hoping for a lighter sentence or a plea deal, especially if they understand the legal process. A person's past criminal history can influence their decision too. Someone who has previously committed financial crimes or understands the legal system might confess to negotiate better terms. They might think confessing could lead to reduced charges or a more lenient punishment. From a psychological point of view, some criminals are more suggestible or compliant. These traits make them more likely to admit guilt when questioned. Others might confess to protect someone else or to demonstrate cooperation with authorities. Showing willingness to cooperate can sometimes be a strategic move to improve their standing in court. It's important to remember that not all confessions are truthful. Some may be false or partly false, especially if the suspect is vulnerable or under intense pressure. The environment of the interrogation and the mental state of the person can influence how reliable a confession really is. So, in the end, why do financial criminals confess? It's a mix of internal feelings like guilt, external pressures from police tactics and evidence, strategic moves to get better legal outcomes, and personal psychological traits. Understanding these reasons helps us see why some choose to admit guilt while others fight to the end.